Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm Adam Tilted, and this is Orbit at a Tilt, your fun weekly way to get the latest news about space and science. Today, we're going to be talking about the International Space Station and how we resupply it, because they need food, they need water, they need oxygen, and they also need to get rid of their trash. So to help me talk about that, I have a special guest on, Miss Bren Haas. Let me bring her on here. Hi, Bren. How you doing?
Hey, Adam. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being on the show.
Very exciting.
I'm going to take just a minute and share this video out. And those of you that are watching, if you would do the same, that would be awesome. And I'm also just going to do a quick check to make sure that we have volume. We do. So I'm sharing this out to my timeline. Great. I also want to remind you to stick around till the end of the show for the trivia contest. And let's jump right into the International Space Station. So, hold on, I lost a window. Okay, there we go. The International Space Station, let's just do some real quick facts and figures about it. And I recommend, if you want to find some good information about the International Space Station, go to NASA's website at nasa.gov. They have a whole section devoted to the International Space Station, and there's a lot of really cool information there. So, let's see, let me find my overview. And then I'm going to show you an image of the space station while we watch. All right, this is an exploded view. I'll put us up in the corner, Bran.
Nice. How long have they been up there? This is what's going on right now, right?
Yes, the space station started being built. Ooh.
Sorry.
I can't remember. I should know that. I'm going to do a show about the building of the space station. So we'll talk about that then. But that was really the purpose of the space shuttle program, was to build the International Space Station with our partners.
Yes.
So, and we'll talk about who those are in just a minute. But just a real quick, some facts and figures just to give you an idea of the scope of this amazing piece of machinery that we've constructed. So just the solar arrays on the International Space Station, they could cover the U.S. Senate chamber 3 times over.
Wow.
Yeah. So, hold on.
Huge.
I actually want to show you that picture.
Wow.
All right, so these solar arrays, they can, that's where the International Space Station gets all of its power. It's from those solar arrays. It took more than 115 space flights and 5 different types of launch vehicles to build this thing. There are 52 computers aboard. It is larger than a 6-bedroom house. It is as long as a football field. And there are 8 miles of wire.
Wow.
8 miles of wire. So,
weird facts.
Yeah, so those are some crazy facts. Now, so the purpose of the space station was to create an environment in low Earth orbit that would take advantage of the free fall environment. So when the way orbits work is you are falling towards the Earth, but if you're going fast enough, you miss the edge of the Earth and you just keep going. So you're constantly falling, but you just keep missing the ground.
Yuck.
It's scary to think about it that way, huh?
That.
Yeah, so
I would not like that.
So the ISS zooms around the planet. I think it completes one orbit of the Earth every 90-something minutes, that's hauling, but it is going fast.
Wow.
And you can also see on NASA's website and on YouTube, NASA's YouTube channel, they have a live camera feed. They have a high-definition camera now attached to the outside of the space station, pointing towards the Earth. And it's fun. I have that kind of running in the background sometimes, and it's really neat to see that. All right, so let's talk about some of the vehicles that are used to resupply the station, because that's a big deal. Now, they have recently started growing some vegetables. They're growing vegetables on the space station. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, well, you have to eat. Hello.
Yeah, well, exactly. And but they weren't sure that was going to work, honestly, because it had never been done before. I mean,
sure.
Will they grow the right way? Will they, will they be edible? Are they going to have the right nutrients? All that stuff. And you know what? I think did they really just delete what I was going to show you? Because it's not.
I would imagine before they started growing their own, they probably did a lot of freezing it. Lost my mind. Dehydrating, right?
Yes, most of the food that they get is specially prepared for them, obviously. And it started off mostly being dehydrated stuff. Now they've gotten pretty sophisticated with their food, much to the delight of the astronauts. But there's nothing like getting a shipment of fresh fruits and vegetables. The astronauts really look forward to that. And often on NASA TV, which is on NASA's website and their YouTube channel, they will show live the docking and unloading of the cargo ships that are bringing stuff. So it's fun. It's neat to see them so excited. And they're like, "Oh, we got apples!" And then they're tossing the apples down the thing, and apples are just floating around, So,
nice.
All right, so there have been a lot of. Basically, we have to launch a rocket up to the space station so that it can bring the necessary supplies to the astronauts on the space station. And I'm trying to show you. It's not playing nice. Oh, I know why.
Huh. I'd like to read about that. So you can find that all on NASA.
Website. NASA's website. They have a whole section devoted to the International Space Station, and it's really cool.
Because I wonder, once they leave Earth and they take the food to the astronauts, how much time are we talking here? Do you know?
It depends. Right now, there are 3 different kinds of vehicles that are bringing supplies to the space station. There is the, excuse me, there is the Cygnus spacecraft, which is, Who makes a Cygnus? Let me check. Make sure they get the proper credit. Orbital ATK Cygnus.
Okay.
And that launched yesterday. And I think it has arrived. I'm not positive about that.
Wow. That's
but
quick.
if the orbits line up just right, they can get there pretty quick. It just kind of depends on the timing.
Okay.
So the Cygnus can bring up about 3,000 tons.
Wow.
3,000 tons. No.
Holy
that's
cow.
crazy. 3 tons.
That's a lot.
3 tons.
They don't need that much food. It's
Yeah.
not all food, right?
3 tons. The Cygnus rocket can bring 3 tons of cargo to the space station. So they pack it all up.
Okay.
They launch it up there, and then it connects. I put up this other diagram of the space station. It connects to one of these nodes that you see, or the airlock. It depends. So this is the Japanese module. This is the European Space Agency module. This is the U.S. module. This, I forget what that is, but this is where a lot of the computers and stuff are, engines and all that. And now another vehicle that is used is the Russian Progress vehicle, which you see attached at the end of this diagram. The Progress vehicle is very similar to the Soyuz vehicle, which is what is used to bring astronauts to and from the space station. But this one is made to be remotely piloted, and they stuff it full of stuff, bring it up there, and then the astronauts on the space station, they stuff it full of trash, and it burns up in the atmosphere.
Oh.
Right now, yeah. I know, that's kind of... Yay, great. The great big garbage disposal.
Yeah. I'm thinking, though, like what you just said, like the Japanese come up and then Russian come up. I'm thinking as an American, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. Like you could eat food from around the world.
Yeah.
When they come, right?
Yeah, and they're very, they usually have a very fun, friendly working relationship. I mean, you don't have a lot of space up there. So even though this is a huge station, the compartments are small and you're in a low gravity environment. So you're going to bump into each other. So you might as well be friends.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, right now, the Dragon spacecraft, which is SpaceX.
Okay.
Okay, so SpaceX was the first commercial space company to deliver cargo to the International Space Station. Before then, it had all been government, either U.S. with the Space Shuttle or the Russians with the Soyuz and the Progress. So SpaceX is the first commercial, but not the last. Orbital ATK is also a private space company. But the Dragon capsule from SpaceX is the only capsule we have right now that can return cargo to the Earth. So it can return without burning up in the atmosphere. And bring back, because they do need to bring stuff back. They have experiments that they run, and sometimes the results of the experiment, it needs to go back to Earth for further analysis. And so they use the Dragon capsule for that. SpaceX is also working on a crewed version of that capsule so that we could bring astronauts to and from. Right now, the only way to get astronauts to and from the space station is to use the Russian Soyuz rocket. Now, obviously, that's not a really great place to be. We don't want to have to depend on the Russians to get us up and down. from the space station.
Sure.
So they have these regular service flights. Unfortunately, in the last year, there have been some accidents, and they've lost some supplies and experiments. I think a Cygnus exploded, and a Dragon X capsule, I believe, had some kind of something went wrong. But no people were injured, but 3 tons. The Dragon can hold up to 6 tons, I think. Okay, wait. Now, this really does say 6,000 tons.
That's insane.
So
I wonder if that counts like the vehicle itself.
It says it can deliver 6,000 tons of cargo.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff, huh?
Yeah.
But if you think about it, it'll bring up machinery for scientific experiments.
Oh, true. Okay.
Things to attach to the outside of the space station. Yeah, so it's interesting. I wanted to devote a whole show just to this resupply thing because it's such a coordinated effort. I also want to show you, let me bring up Chrome again, just to give you an idea of the different countries that cooperate. Okay. And it's basically the European Space Agency, or ESA.
Okay.
The let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. Let me see if I can share this browser window with you. All right. You see that map?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay.
I'm on my iPhone, so it's
right. Yeah, I know it's a little small. I don't expect you to be able to read.
Thank goodness for the replay.
Yeah. So you see all these flags across the bottom. Those represent all the countries that are involved, and you can see just all over the map. So,
love it.
This really is a worldwide effort, and the great thing about it is that even though the political situation has been uncomfortable, to say the least,
sure.
Particularly with the Russians, none of that affects any of this. They don't care. They don't pay any attention. Like, for them, it's the science, it's the working together, and whatever else is happening, they don't pay any attention to that. And I think that's amazing.
That's awesome.
I like the idea that science is bringing people together despite, what the politicians are doing. So look at all these countries: the U.S., Russia, Canada, Japan, Belgium, Denmark, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, and the UK.
Wow. That's a lot of good food.
I know, right?
Do they have like a page with what they're farming up there or what their menu is? Seriously.
They probably do. Because I swear this whole, you can see, I'm just in the overview section. This is NASA's webpage. This is the space station webpage. And there's all of these things you can find out about the launches and landings. They have a whole program. It's like a podcast called Space to Ground, and it gives you the latest information about what's happening with the station. So if you are into all things ISS, I definitely encourage you to check it out. Another thing that I want to point out to you all is that you can see the International Space Station from your backyard. Even in areas where it's fairly light polluted, like where I live right outside of Houston, we can only see the brightest of the stars because there's a haze, from the pollution and the light that's coming from downtown. But I can see the space station, and depending on its angle to the sun as it's passing overhead, it can be really bright. And you can, if any of you use the app, IFTTT, if this, then that, it's a productivity app. There's one of the applets in there will give you a notification every time the space station is about to fly over your house. Even in the daytime, apparently. Yeah. I found out. But also, if you go to that NASA's website, there's also a place where you can sign up to get email alerts when the space station is going to pass over. And I recommend that you take a look for that. I mean, as I mentioned, it passes around the Earth every 90 minutes. So it's fairly regular that you're going to be able to see it at some point. And it's just nice to go out there and see it streak across the sky and realize that there are people up there. Oh, just another day at work in orbit, you know?
Oh, that can be a little creepy too, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So, Bren is a gardener, aficionado. She's been my inspiration because I try to get better at keeping plants alive. Yeah. So I brought her on today because they're starting to grow these plants, and I'm curious if you have a guess about what plant they might have started with.
Up in space?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess peas.
Close. Actually, close. It was lettuce first.
Really?
Yeah. They did lettuce first. And I think part of it was because of the structure of the plant.
Okay.
Because I don't want things that are kind of dangling and stuff.
Yeah, that's
true.
But
I think they've been growing peas up there as well. And,
yeah, peas are good.
I think they've got...
Because you can eat the leaves. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did know that.
Yeah.
But they have a whole section now that they are devoting to testing out gardening in space. Because if we're going to be going somewhere like Mars, that's a long trip, and we cannot bring all that food with us. And if we do, it's going to be gross.
Yeah.
So much better to have fresh vegetables available.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Excellent. Okay. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor for the show, you can do that at Patreon. I have a Patreon account. I want to thank my sponsors because this month, you have paid for access to 3 slots on a remote telescope in either Chile or the Canary Islands. So I've tried to take some pictures for you to show you those. I've had weather cancellations each time, but that's what you're paying for, sponsors. So thank you. And if I can get $10 more a month in sponsorships, then I can get unlimited access to the telescopes. So I won't be limited to just 3. And that's where we're going to have some fun. All right. So if you can be a sponsor, I really appreciate it. Check out Patreon. If you can't commit to being a monthly sponsor and you just want to give us a tip, the tip jar is at paypal.me/AdamTilted. Notice it's paypal.me, not paypal.com. I don't know if you've used paypal.me before, but it's a shortcut. If you go to paypal.com, you're going to need to know my email address and all that, blah, 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 blah. PayPal.me, Adam Tilted. You'll see my smiling face and be able to put in whatever amount you like. And any amount is appreciated. So thank you for that. Okay, the trivia question. Last week's trivia question. I didn't have a winner. Last week. This was last week's trivia question. What instrument will replace the Hubble Space Telescope? Does anybody know?
Boy.
It will be the James Webb Space Telescope, which is currently under construction. It's a little behind schedule and over budget, as these things tend to be. But the James Webb Telescope will dwarf the Hubble, and it will orbit about 3 times further away from the Earth. Almost 1 million miles, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
The Hubble telescope, which we talked about last year, can see about 13.4 billion light years away. The James Webb will be able to see further than that. So we are bound to discover some amazing, amazing things that we can't even conceive of right now when that's launched. So looking forward to that.
And they're only growing lettuce. That makes no sense. I'm sure they have other stuff.
They started with lettuce. Now they have more of a variety, but I think they started a couple years ago with the experiment of growing. And then, so they grew a crop, and then they sent it back for analysis and testing just to make sure that nothing weird happened with the chromosomes or
sure.
Because,
That's cool.
There's also radiation up there to consider.
Oh, true. Ooh.
Because they don't have the protection of the atmosphere like we do.
Right.
Our ozone layer protects us from most of the sun's harmful radiation, but when you're out in space, they do have some protection from the vehicle, from the actual station itself, but their rate of exposure is much higher than ours, and so they got to find plants that can handle that and not get weird and make us sick.
Yeah. Ooh. Right?
Okay,
Yikes.
so today's trivia question, I did not type it up because I didn't think of it until now.
Oh gosh, okay.
I've had a very busy morning. All right, so what I want to know is which space shuttle was the last to visit the International Space Station. Now, here's how you play. Don't answer in the comments. No spoilers. No spoilers. If you want to play, if you want to guess, send me a message from the Orbit at a Tilt Facebook page. Send me a message with your guess. I will take all of the correct answers, randomly draw one, and you will get a magnificent prize. It might be this. Let me show you what your prize might be. This is a poster. This is a poster that shows every space exploration mission ever.
Wow. That's nice.
And then it has all of the spacecraft at the bottom. And it's on a nice canvasy, it's not paper. All right. The reason why I say it might be this is because I ordered another poster. And I'm going to see which one is better for a prize. This one, I got these real cheap. And so this one, they have flaws. So I want to see the one that's least flawed is the one I'm going to give away as a prize. So it could be this, it could be the other one, but you're not going to win if you don't play. So again, the question is, which was the last space shuttle to visit the International Space Station? Send me a message and you might win this cool poster. Bren, thank you so much. It's been such a joy. Where can people find you if they want to get to know more about you? You're tagged in the post, so they can find you that way.
Perfect. It's really easy. I'm all over the web at Brenhaas. You can find me on Twitter and Facebook, and jump on the hashtag Garden Chat.
Yes, Garden Chat. Garden Chat is great. And you do live on YouTube.
I do, yes.
Yes, I've seen some of them.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so go check those out. If you, even if you don't think you like gardening, like me, go look at her stuff because she's got some really cool plants. She's got this neat little dome in the back to protect it. Have you gotten snow yet?
Yeah. No, but it's coming. But it's okay because all my the things that make me happy are all safe in there. I even have fish. Did you see my fish?
I didn't see the fish. I'm going to have to
Cool.
go back and look at it again.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's fun. I love your little dome out there. I wish I had something like that. So
You could do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll
Yeah.
just build myself of course, we
You
might
can.
have one day. I'm in Houston, so we don't really get really cold. You're in Ohio?
Yeah.
Cold.
Well, the cool thing is, though, I do grow in it year round, and it actually can help you grow organic easier without pesticides and things because you have this nice little safe environment to keep bad things out, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That
See?
makes sense. All right.
So you could totally have one in Texas.
That's true. That's true. Keep all the critters out from eating my stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, some bunnies. Yeah.
Oh, we've got aphids like crazy.
Yeah. You still can get aphids.
I was like, what is that? I didn't know what it was. I'd heard of aphids because I know that's what ladybugs eat, but I'd never seen one before, and it just looked like a little piece of a feather floating. But then I realized that it was actually on a course. It was flying. It wasn't just drifting on the wind. I was like, what is that? Ew, they're everywhere. Ah! So then we have the brown wasps that come in and eat them.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I haven't seen them this year yet, though, so I'm a little concerned about the brown wasps. So maybe they're just a little late. I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe they need a plant, a different flower or something that will bring them in, right?
There you go. There you go. You're always there with an organic solution. I love it.
There you go. I try.
Okay. All right. Thanks again, Bren, and thanks to
Thank you,
the
Adam.
audience. You have until showtime next week to get your entries in for the trivia contest. If you have suggestions for a future topic, please let me know. Drop it in the comments. If you would like to be a guest on the show, let me know. You don't have to know anything about space or science or whatever. You just need to be curious and want to learn. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you later. Bye.